What's up guys and welcome back to the channel. Today Francis Ngannou claims his psychiatrist warned him to watch out for former coach. Alex Pereira says he witnessed the arrogant Israel Adesanya crying outside after the rematch. Dana White on ESPN's decision to raise up UFC prices, and much more. If you are new, please make sure you're subscribed to the channel and also like the video for more daily MMA content. Alex Pereira claims that he left Israel Adesanya crying outside after knocking out the style bender in their 2017 rematch. Alex said, "I don't know if it's just with this guy's friends, right? With the people close to him. He's that arrogant guy, that annoying guy, because every time I met him, it was all that arrogance, that ego. He was always like that. Since our first fight in China, he was that guy who pissed me off a lot, from the weigh-ins to the fight. Even losing when there was a rematch in Brazil, he made a post that I don't really remember, but it was something like, I have to beat Pereira in his backyard and then run out of the villa. It was something like that, right? So if Israel and Alex ever fought in the UFC, who do you think wins? Leave a comment for Israel or leave a comment for Pereira and let me know why." Francis Ngannou will be defending his heavyweight belt for the first time this coming weekend. In a UFC YouTube interview with Megan O'Leary, Francis Ngannou spoke about his recent struggles with mental health and with his former coach.
Absolutely, but you were training with Fernand Lopez,
Yeah.
and now he's Cyril's head coach.
Yeah.
What's the relationship there? And
Oh, the relationship there is not good at all. I mean, as far as I know, because I have been listening to Fernand in the past 2 years, and I figured that he's not good at all.
did you know that before you heard these interviews? I mean, did you guys think you were okay?
At some point, I thought we were okay because I always like get things done, like let's say in the fair way, and I think by the moment that I really, because even when I was in Vegas, I was still like friendly, connected to him, you know, and that's why like sometimes I would ask him to like come to my corner, even though I wasn't in his gym anymore.
Yeah.
You know, just as a friend. But obviously that wasn't enough, and so many things was on his mind, and I couldn't bring a solution to that. And then I found out that couple years ago, you know, but I couldn't do anything about it. The way that he's approaching it is like, I mean, I won't say I'm surprised knowing the person, you know. I always knew that something like this might come from him. Like I was in Paris 3 years ago after the Derek Lewis fight, and I was dealing with some personal stuff on my end. I was so in the bad place that I decided to see a psychiatrist, you know, and if you look at this psychiatric notes, it's funny because like even 3 years ago, she pointed out Fernand as a problem to wash out, and I thought she was like crazy, and she started break it down and put it on the note, you know. But now I think she was all right.
Henry Cejudo hits back at Conor McGregor following the recent Irishman taunts towards the man known as Triple C. In a Twitter post, Conor said this: "Roses are red, lemon is tart, Henry Cejudo is a little fart." Henry responded with, "@Notorious MMA, I have nothing but respect for you. Hopefully when I see you, we can shake hands and you can do a line off my head." And he also followed up with, "What do you know by farting? You're always running out of gas." Khamzat Chimaev has sent a message to Gilbert Burns ahead of their agreed upon but not finalized bout. The rising welterweight star claims he will choke Burns out despite the Brazilian being a decorated Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt.
For me, it doesn't matter. When Gilbert Burns talk about Brazil, I'm more Brazilian than him because my coach is Brazilian. I'm a blue belt from Alan Pimpo. I know many times my coach smashed him too in the match, Gilbert. We're gonna choke him out. Pimpo, blue belt against the black belt. I like this guy actually. He's so funny, nice guy. I wanna fight with him, but in the war, brother. No, I can't be nice with somebody. I wanna eat their blood. Take my money, take my belt. Whew. So hungry. When I talk about fighters, I'm hungry. I wanna smash this machine.
Ever since Francis Ngannou parted ways with Fernand Lopez and the MMA Factory, their relationship has continued to sour. Things have reached a point where Lopez dismissed the possibility of working alongside Ngannou.
It almost sounds to me like after this fight is done, there's a good chance that maybe you guys, maybe one day in the future, might actually, get back to doing stuff together. Do you expect to shake his hand after the fight's said and done, and maybe the possibility of the relationship sort of getting a little bit better maybe in the future? Because it sounds like you guys are open to something like that.
I'm really open to shake his hand anytime or talk with him anytime, but I can't work with him anymore. Like it's like you was working in a very complicated job, and you discover how to work in the comfort zone, in the best comfort that you can have. So yeah, I will not go back to work with Francis ever.
Michael Bisping feels Amanda Nunes will avenge her recent submission loss to Juliana Pena in a potential rematch. According to the account, Nunes will be motivated to beat Pena and reclaim the UFC Women's Bantamweight title when they run it back down the line.
Women's Bantamweight. Mikey B, you're up first, pal. What do you think?
Well, it's pretty simple, isn't it? It's a two-horse race, okay? It's Amanda Nunes or Juliana Pena, and of course, one of those horses is just going to go straight out the gates and win that race by 4. I'm talking about Amanda Nunes. She's going to come back reinvigorated, embarrassed. She's going to be sick of all the talk from Juliana Pena, and she's going to put her to bed, okay? Amanda Nunes, the lioness, the female GOAT, she's going to be back. She's going to be on top of the weight division. I'm going to go ahead already. She'll be the featherweight champ as well. Sorry, not sticking to the format. Double champ, back in action. Bish, bash, bosh. There you go.
On the big fights next week, I did want to ask, the main event, huge, unification bout, but it seems like all the talk is just about Francis and his contract and boxing and that sort of thing. Do you think there's any chance of resolving the situation prior to the fight next week?
I don't know. Listen, it's not like we haven't been in this position before. This happens sometimes, and we'll see how it plays out.
Nice.
It doesn't matter. He's going to fight on Saturday, and whatever's going to happen is going to happen.
Yeah. Henry Cejudo's been speaking out a little frustrated that maybe he didn't get a look at the title shot and feels like maybe you guys aren't willing to pay him.
Isn't that guy retired? He's retired, isn't he? The last time I saw, he was retired. And now he's mad that he didn't get a title shot? That doesn't even make sense. In a different weight class? It doesn't make sense.
The example that everybody points to, obviously, is George St. Pierre and said, well, you gave him that opportunity prior. Why wouldn't you do it, tender it up again? Is it? Yeah,
so I should have jumped over everybody and gave it to him because all of a sudden, last week he decided he's not retired? Come on, man, this is a fucking silly conversation. Silly. He wants to come back and try to win the title again in his weight class and then talk about moving up or doing something else. But you don't just fucking pop up and start calling somebody names and think that you're going to get a title shot.